Hi there, it's Marlena. I just wanted to do a quick review of the bullet planner from Scribbles That Matter. I have it as a item in my list of things that I love for bullet journaling, and I put it there because I was really excited about it, and I've received it and I'm sort of on the fence, so I thought maybe I would share it, see what you think about it. And I apologize for the background noise. I do have a couple of puppies and some dogs, and they're all in this room, and it's also quite likely that my cat will jump into the video at some point. So the first thing you'll notice, it's blue with some yellow highlights on it. On the back it has their little icons, hopefully you can see that. And then on the side here it has a pen holder, which is kind of neat. It's on the side and it can fit a large pen pretty tightly, so that's not really gonna fall out or anything like that. So that's one of my favorite fountain pens there. And I also wanted to show that it can actually fit a really thin pen. So this is the Statler pen, and it's pretty small. It doesn't fit in my other notebooks pen holders, so that's kind of neat for this one. I kind of like that. Although I wouldn't really keep my fountain pen here because it's on the side of the book, and therefore it would probably get scratched up. So I just wanted to show you the inside of this so you can see what it includes. The reason I was excited about this is because sometimes it takes a lot of time to put together your pages in a bullet journal, and this one is already done for you. I didn't know what it was going to look like, so that's the only thing I wish I would have had. So the inside is this nice, I guess, construction paper, sort of, not really. And then you open it up and it has the Scribbles That Matter, and you can put your name, when you started it, and when it ended, which is kind of nice, especially if you keep a like a shelf full of these. Inside it has a key. It has your bullet code, which is typically what you would use if you were using your lists and moving things from each list. Your color code in case you use different kinds of highlighters and stuff to distinguish between work and home, that kind of thing. And then it has 3 is 2017, 2018, and 2019 little calendars, and it has these little dotted notebook pages around it. So these are your years at a glance, and I suppose you could put birthdays and stuff like that on the side if you wanted to. I'm not sure that I would use that, but I'm sure other people would. And then you have this annual progress tracker, and being somebody who's a little bit more new to bullet journaling, I'm not sure that I know how I would use this, other than maybe for my blog if I wanted to say track my page views over time. Notice how I made them go up. Or something like that. Maybe I wanted to track like weight loss over time. So there's a couple of different things you could do with this. And maybe you could use different colors for different things that you're tracking over that year, because it goes by weeks, so a month, so each little square is a week. After that, you get a few pages of planning space. Not a whole lot. I think it's like 4 pages. Sorry, my puppies are playing. So 4 pages of planning space, and then it goes into this monthly overview, which is kind of nice. So when you do a bullet journal, you typically put the days of the month, and then the little dates there. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you can put like what birthdays are there or something like that. So you have 2 sides. So I imagine you could do something with birthdays and something with like due dates. The sky's the limit. So there is some ability to do whatever you want on these pages, although it is also very structured. Maybe you could do some hand lettering up here, or your overall goal, something like that. So really your imagination. The next page is neat because it's end of the month review, tracker, goals to accomplish this month's tasks. So it helps you to be intentional about what you're going to be doing. I don't think you'd want to have this many habits to track in a month, because I think that would be really overwhelming unless they're really simple things that you would do anyway. So, like a no spend would be what I'm going to do, because that's what I need to do. maybe drinking water, you know, whatever. People do a lot of different things with trackers. The nice thing about this is that you don't have to draw it out. So when you're drawing this in your bullet journal, you know, that's a lot of time and ruler work. So there's 12 pages of this, I believe. And one thing about this that actually I don't really like is that it doesn't have the little page numbers. And so you notice in the beginning it had the key, but it didn't have an index. And whereas you could make this your index, I think that an index is a really key part of a bullet journal because you want to be able to go back and look at the things that are important to you. So that's one thing I don't like. And obviously you could number them yourself, but it's nicer when they're already numbered. So then you go into your weeklies. I am sorry, I knocked this here. You go into your weeklies, and this is where it sort of falls apart for me, mostly because I do not like time tracking in my planners, because I find that for the most part, my work is very similar every week with the same meetings. But I figured, you know, I could cover it up with stickers. I did cut out a sticker that's the size of an Erin Condren, approximately. I mean, I probably screwed up a little bit on cutting, but it doesn't really fit specifically. So it's a little bit smaller. And then it's also obviously a little bit smaller here. Like, that's not terrible, but it doesn't really fit. I think if I made this for somebody, I would probably make it so that the Erin Condren stickers fit. And I believe the Happy Planner ones are a little bit thinner even, so that wouldn't necessarily work if you are really kind of a perfectionist about things, which I'm not. So anyway, you could do your weekly like this. You could maybe have your to-dos down here. So you could do something with like a little heart checklist or something like that. And then you could have like different to-dos or maybe some hand lettering or whatever to make it pretty at the top. The next page is another way to look at your weekly. So I like this a little bit better because it has a little bit more open space in order to do what you want to do with it. So I do a lot of lists in my bullet journal, so I could see doing the to-do list over time, or maybe some of the things that I want to be intentional about, so things that I learned each day might be a good thing, although I kind of like to keep that as a running list, so this would make it so that I had to do it every week. So one cool thing that I missed telling you about is on each side there's a little quote, so that's kind of neat. Something to think about. So there are, I believe, 52, I'm guessing, I didn't count them because there's no page numbers. I'm guessing there's 52 weeks of this. So after this, you get some more just creative space. And so here you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages. And then you get an account, user ID, password, hint page, 2 pages of that if you wanted to use that. And then you get a mindfulness, so flip back through this planner from the first page to the last, see all the scribbles, a mirror to your past. What have you learned? How have you grown? Reflect and ponder when you're alone. So I kind of like that idea of going back through, but 1 page probably isn't enough, especially if you actually filled this whole book. And then one thing that Scribbles That Matter has is this pen test, which I really like because it helps you to test the paper. It's a pretty decent paper. It's lighter than like the Lichtern. I don't know how to say that, but here's the difference in paper between those two. So you can see it's a little bit more yellow, whereas the Scribbles That Matter is a little bit more white. So I like the white a little bit better. So that's about it for this journal. It does have a little pocket, which I think is pretty cool. I'm not sure about this. It's also huge. So this is, let me see if I can find an A5 around here in my junk. Well, this is an A5 traveler's notebook, so you can see it's quite a bit bigger than that. So that's the Scribbles That Matter bullet planner. What I found recently that actually is working pretty well for me is the Erin Condren Spiral Notebook. So I like my Erin Condren planner a lot. It's so pretty, and I just put stickers in it like I'm a little girl planning with stickers. But this is kind of like just like the bullet journal. It just has bullet pages, and what I like is it lays flat. It has a ton of room, so you can have like columns of lists if you wanted, or you could even do like a full week spread on here, whatever you wanted. The other thing that I think is really cool about the planners and these notebooks is this is a wet erase board on both sides, so that's pretty neat. And then it comes with some stickers, but they're not really, to me, they're not very attractive, so I probably wouldn't really use these, although I guess you could probably write on them. So that is what I have been using this week. The other thing that I use sometimes is my main bullet journal, and I wanted to kind of show this for people like me who aren't very artistic. I took a circle, what do you call it, stencil, and I made circles, and then I put things I'm grateful for and colored them, made it look kind of pretty, but then of course somehow when I think I put my Kindle cover on top of this and it just got everywhere. And then I put things I love and want to improve about my house, just something cute to play with. Things I want to do, just use a little highlighter to make that a little pretty. Some goals that I wanted to do in the next month. And then I wanted to also point out that you can make a week look nice even if you're not an artist. So I used some stencils, which I'll include in my post, and just some stickers. And this is my new favorite sticker sheet. I actually printed this out from a store on Etsy, which I'll link below. This, I don't like the other ones from that shop as much, which is unfortunate, but I just love this one. It's so pretty. Anyway, just a little bit of extra in terms of what I found about this bullet planner and what I also like to use. And look at all these little goodies I got going on in here. I'll link all that. All right, well, I hope this was helpful, and just let me know, are you interested in this bullet planner? Is that something that you would find useful? Do you find that it has just enough structure or too much structure for you? I would love to hear. Thanks. See you later.